Once again, let's ignore the outline, the bullets, and go straight to the question. What do they want from us? The student wants to explain an advantage of the ICAA's archive being digital. Okay, so maybe some of the little details in that question matter, but what's the advantage? That's what I want. And maybe we can think about it as just a dumb summary, right? Like we want something positive. Let's see what we get. A, over 10,000 documents related to the history of Latin American and Latino visual art are part of the ICAA archive. Well, that seems good. Now, it doesn't say that those are digitized in any way. I guess it's implied because it's visual art. Like, I don't know. So that piece may be missing. Maybe it's left to us to understand that that's an advantage. It doesn't explicitly say, oh, 10,000 is good, right? I mean, maybe 10,000 is bad. Maybe there's, a million things that could be in there, but they've only got 10,000. Now that's suddenly bad, right? So I don't love that I have to make assumptions in order for me to understand that this is an advantage, but let's leave it in for now. B, by offering online versions of historical documents, the ICAA's archive provides more access to these materials without removing them from their countries of origin. Well, okay, what's the advantage? The advantage is you get more access. And kind of like, it's more as a negative, but it's still an advantage, right? You're getting more access without removing them from their countries of origin. So there's almost like two advantages there. So that seems pretty good. And they do talk about it being digitized, right? It's an online version. So this has got a lot more going for it. Notice it's easier to connect this choice back to the question than it was for choice A. But let's make sure. Let's look at C. Among the historical documents in the ICAA's archive are the writings of Latin American and Latino artists and critics. Well, I guess, yes, like that's probably a good thing, but notice it again doesn't say that that's an advantage. It just leaves it to us to kind of assume that. So we already know by now that that's probably not going to cut it. So let's just get rid of that choice. D, the ICAA's director, Marie Carmen Ramirez, oversaw the creation of an online archive of historical documents related to Latin American and Latino visual art. Again, who cares? Why is it good, right? Like, I need you to tell me why it's good. We're not allowed to interpret these. And this is why I don't read the bullet points before I do these questions, because I don't want the information rattling around my head. It's going to give me an advantage in those bullet points. But remember, the point of these questions is that I am writing a sentence for a research paper where the person reading that paper would not have access to the outline, right? So they wouldn't have the background information. It's up to me to give it to them in a sentence. So by not reading the outline, I am behaving like the reader, and I kind of am forced to be like, oh, well, did they give me the information I was asking for, or is it left to me to go back and do my own research and figure it out for myself? I don't want that. I want it to be in the sentence, and B just most easily gives it to us in the sentence. So try to understand that even if you have a couple choices that maybe could work, one of them should be an easier fit, a smoother fit. Go with that because that's what the reader will want. They don't want to have things explained to them. They don't want to have to guess. They just want it to be in the lines in the answer choice itself.